This disc is a collection of arias written for 3 different great tenors of the early 18th century, all of whom worked for Handel. Francesco Borosini, Annibale Fabri and John Beard. They're very different characters and they had a lot of very different music written for them. Handel wrote very differently for all 3 of them and the other composers who wrote for them are very varied.
Softly rise, O southern breeze, and kindly fan the blooming tree.
Actually, in choosing the material to do, I mean, there's this paradox with this record, which is it's a 3 tenors record, these 3 very different personalities doing very different sort of repertoire. But at the same time, you've got to find the aspects of those tenors that suit the voice that you have. But, you know, to find the sort of coloratura that will work, the sort of cantabile that will work.
From every part may flow.
This is a very particular project that really focuses on a specific repertoire that made 3 singers quite popular in the 18th century. And so a lot of that music actually was sleeping in libraries, and a certain number of scholars have worked on it, especially Andrew Woolley, who's put together the edition for, I would say, about half of this program. And it's fascinating to discover new music. It's one of the things that I like the most in my job, music that you know that's never been performed or hasn't been performed in a couple of centuries.
Barbaro scortese, non rammentar l'offese, è un pregio che innamora più che la tua beltà. È un pregio che innamora più che la tua beltà. Barbaro scortese, non rammentar l'offese, non rammentar l'offese, non rammentar no. Non rammentar l'offese, e pregio ti innamora più di la tua beltà.
It was partly this sense that there were these tenors who are mentioned in very fleetingly in the literature. Obviously John Beard is a very famous figure in 18th century England, and that they were underplayed, I suppose. I mean, I've often stolen arias written for castrati because they're male, but and I sing them at a different octave. But to actually find some genuine tenor material seemed good, and I knew also that it was a historical accident in a way that castrati was so valued in London.
From celestial seats descending, joys divine a while suspending. Gods have left the heaven above, gods have left the heaven above to take.
This is the Foundling Museum in Bloomsbury, I suppose, in London. Next to Coram's Fields. And housed here is the Gerald Cook collection of Handeliana. And here, what we're interested in, where are we? Mr. Beard. From celestial seats descending, joys divine a while suspending, gods have left their heaven above to taste the sweeter heaven of love. Handel had a lot of English influences coming into him, and he was trying to be, having been the great Italian opera composer, he had the influence of working in the Chapel Royal, and he knew about Purcell, and he knew about how to make a sort of English sound, and I'm sure Beard was part of that, yeah.
The iron is a find, really. First of all, it uses only 1 trumpet in timpani, which is very rare. That's a very weird combination that I had never come across before, and I discussed it with the trumpet player, Mark Bennett, who knows that repertoire in and out, and he says that for him it's also, at first, it's also quite unusual.
Rise, 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 glory, rise, glory, rise, in all thy charms. I chant.
The English concert is one of the absolute top bands using pure instruments in the world, and the one of the most fascinating aspects of this project is that we have not met before, we have not rehearsed prior to this recording. This is all new. There was no performances, there was no rehearsal period. It just happens on the spot. We rehearse and we record right away, and I think it's a testament to the amazing skill of these musicians.
On this occasion, we had the wonderful Canadian conductor, Bernard Labadie, who has a group called Les Violons du Roi in America, a modern instrument Baroque group, but he came in to do this stuff, and I think it's absolutely, they did amazing, amazing work. Absorbing the music, all of which was completely unfamiliar, I mean almost all of which was completely unfamiliar. I mean some of this music has never been, in fact most of this music has not been recorded before. A lot of it was in manuscript. So they looked at this stuff, absorbed it, and played it wonderfully.
Sazierà col morir mio, crudo cielo fatorio, la tua
The aria by Boyce is a gem. I know this is one of Ian's favorites, and he was adamant about having this piece on the program.
So in this particular section of dialogue, he sings a recitative to she. My fair's a garden of delight, enclosed and hid from vulgar sight, where streams from bubbling fountains stray, and flowers enrich the verdant way.
upon my spicy garden blow, that sweet from every part may flow. That sweet from every part may flow.